Today we're talking about Iron Lung, the indie horror film directed by and starring Markiplier. I've been following Mark for years, so seeing this project finally hit the screen was honestly a huge moment. But beyond just being proud of him, the real question is, does the movie actually hold up? Here's a quick premise, no spoilers. Iron Lung takes place in a universe where habitable planets have vanished, and humanity is barely surviving. A prisoner is sent alone into a tiny submarine, dropped into an ocean of blood, to photograph whatever is lurking below. That's the setup, and it's immediately tense. So here's some things that I liked. First off, I'm genuinely proud of Mark and everyone involved. I've watched him for years, and seeing him step into filmmaking like this is huge. Like, so good. This didn't feel like a cheap YouTuber side project. It felt like a serious attempt at making a real horror film, and that alone deserves respect. Like, Mark deserves respect for that, for sure. The set and production design was done very well. The submarine set looked incredibly well done. It felt tight and grimy and oppressive, and the lighting angles and the camera angles really sold the claustrophobia of you being in this tiny ass submarine in an ocean where you can't see shit. For a mostly single location film, it never looked cheap, which is very impressive. Again, Mark deserves respect, and so does everyone that worked on this. The movie is definitely spooky, but I wouldn't call it terrifying. It leans more into the tension and dread than jump scares, which I also respect. We don't always need jump scares in horror movies. If the atmosphere is good, then the scares are good. The sound design also does a lot of the heavy lifting here, so the metal creaks, the distant impacts, and even the silence. It keeps you uncomfortable, even if it's not making you jump out of your seat. Or, is a dog jump scare, if you know what I mean. Overall, I think the story is really good. It's bleak, mysterious, and leaves room for interpretation. There's a strong sense of cosmic dread, like humanity is small and powerless. Where I struggled with this whole thing is that the story did confuse me a little bit. I haven't played the original Iron Lung game, so I didn't have the backstory of that going into this, and while I know that this was based off of Iron Lung and isn't exactly the same, I still was a little confused. Because of that, some of the world building and lore felt like it assumed I already knew certain things. I don't think that ruins the movie at all, but it did make parts harder to fully grasp. If you played the game, you might connect the dots more easily than I did. After I watched the movie, I went with a friend, and my friend and I had to talk back and forth and I had to get the story from him, and he hasn't played Iron Lung either. He just seemed to understand it better than I did. Mark's performance surprised me in a good way. It didn't feel like that's YouTuber Mark. It didn't feel like it was Markiplier. It felt very restrained and serious, and just like he was really gunning to be that character, which again, amazing. Great job. So in a film where you're basically stuck with one character the whole time, that matters a lot. And my final thoughts is that Iron Lung isn't a loud horror movie. It's not packed with constant scares. It's tense, it's claustrophobic, and it's clearly a passion project. For longtime fans of Markiplier, it's an honestly proud moment. And for general horror fans, it's a solid indie cosmic horror film, especially if you enjoy the slow burn dread, the really good atmosphere that really gets you feeling like you're in the movie, I'm curious what you guys thought, though. If you've seen the movie, did it confuse you at all if you hadn't played the game? Or did everything make sense and click right away for you? And if you're enjoying more of these structured review style breakdowns, let me know, because that's the direction I'm leaning more into. If you like this kind of content, or if you like my urban legend shorts that I do, make sure to hit the subscribe button and maybe click the little bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload. I also stream on Twitch, and if you'd like to see me play spooky games there, all of my links are down in the description for you to check out. Thank you again for sticking with me with this little bit of a change. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for watching. Remember, guys, dare to climb, but don't be afraid to fall. See you next time.